गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्धविज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य अनुगभक्तिद श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये नरसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रियः वैष्णवसार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषै नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धौ दीनबन्धौ जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतोर्पङ्गुर् मामन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्भोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यद्वृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधाशीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रष्ट्रालिभिः स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षं वेणुस्वनेर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथः श्रियस्तुनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा So I was asked to give a topic for the Brahmachari classes in Pune. Then I thought when you have a class, when I give a topic, then we are bound in our philosophical speculation. So it is better to have Ishta Goshti. Goshti. We say Ishta Goshti, actually Goshti means we have many speakers, many listeners. That's called Ishta Goshti. So other one is just pravachan. So I just give a pravachan and we're all restricted to a topic. And you would not be able to hear what you would like to hear. I'll be speaking what I would like to speak. It's not so relishable. So I thought, let's have an open mind and then discuss on whatever comes to the mind. Yes, we start with our question answers. It may not be a question. It may be a desire in your heart to hear something about something. That's also good. Yeah. Let's start. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So I have question from today's class. So we were discussing about Narsimhadev and Shivji. So I heard past time from Purana when Narsimhadev was not getting peaceful, he was not becoming peaceful. Then Veerbhadra came and he was killed. Then Shivji took a form of 1,000
Sarabha.
Sharabha. Narsimhadev. Seems to me a little bit tattva. So could you please explain this pastime? How they become
We spoke about this. Actually, who is that Sharabha? Sharabhanjana is Narasimha. And Shiva took the form of Sharabha. So then Narasimha took a form of another Sharabha. And he defeated all those Sharabhas and made them his disciples. That is the extension of the story. It's only one part that he came and then defeated Narasimha. But actually, there is only half part of the story. The later part goes at how 1,000 Sharabhas were defeated by Narasimha when he took the form of Sharabha. And also there is a form Narasimha which he took at that time known as Dandabherunda Narasimha. Dandabherunda Narasimha. This is the form of Garuda. 5-faced Narasimha. All of things are there in the Puranas. See, these Puranas, especially the Puranas meant for the Tamasika people, they talk about certain, they talk the pastime in such a way, the Tamasic people get very, yes, this happened. And ultimately, they get excited about the entire thing. The blood coming out, this came, and all this. You have this, in music videos, you have this MTV where you have crazy things coming out. Some worm comes, some snake comes, and he's playing some, because that is very much attractive for the people who are in mode of ignorance. So some Puranas describe certain pastimes, like even Ramachandra's pastime. One Purana talks about how, and when Ramachandra became angry on Samudra Dev, the anger was so much, the blood came out of the eyes. But Valmiki Ramayana doesn't talk about it. So one pastime is described in a particular way to attract a particular kind of audience. The reason is, the whole purpose of every pastime is to engross people's mind in Krishna. So certain kind of tamasic people require certain kind of description. That is why kavyas are there. Kavyas talk about lot of metaphors, similes, so that people are engrossed in their in the pastime, in that particular pastime. Those who are sattvikas, there is a particular way you describe a pastime. Those who are rajasikas, the particular way you present a pastime. Those who are tamasikas, you particular way you present a pastime. The Puranas and the previous acharyas and the kavyakaras, they have used this technique. If you are sattvika, shrutena means just by hearing, understood. And for those who are rajasikas, arthena, you require to have it arthena, means you explain the meaning, they'll understand. And anjasa, for those who are tamasikas, you have to have some allegorical stories, number one. Number two, you need to present the story with putting some masala in it. And that is allowed, as long as the content, the core content is, and the intent is pure. The content and intent should be pure. For that, you can add the masala. Like, for example, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj describes Jagai Magai Viga, isn't it? But after that, the IY boys do the drama. Now you understand. So when a Sattvika is speaking the same pastime, he will highlight Nityananda's mercy. When these Rajasikas and Tamasikas do the same thing, they will highlight Jagai Madai. So what the children remember after the entire drama is, kya acting kiya Jagai ne. So ultimately, at least they they saw the drama, isn't it? So now that is why after this whole pastime, the children are so excited. He's seeing how Jagai and Madai were drunkards and what all sins they have done. Then after that, they come and see Nityananda Prabhu even delivered such people. So then they get the idea. So the preaching has to be keeping in mind, considering the varied kind of audience. To give further clarification, Narahari Tirtha, who is a disciple of Madhvacharya. Madhvacharya had two disciples from coastal Andhra. One is Narahari Tirtha and Padmanabha Tirtha, Shobhana Bhatta. So he was a big Tarkika at that time. Samay Shastri and Shobhana Bhatta. Very great scholars. At that time, their names were like big thing. And Madhvacharya defeated them and made them sannyasis. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the story is written. You heard about the elephant putting the garland on one sannyasi, and he had to become the king. He is Narahari Tirtha. So he got the Moolarama deities, which were worshipped by Ram himself, and these deities were hanging in the neck of Hanuman, and he was given to a Brahmana. That story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is described. So the Moolarama deities, which is there, is worshipped now in the Raghavendra Matha, Nantralaya, Raghavendra Swami Matha, it is still worshipped. So Narahari Tirtha, he was the person who preached Krishna consciousness through art, to dance. He wrote the format of dance called Kuchipudi. Heard about Kuchipudi dance? Who started this? It was Narahari Tirtha. He wrote the rules and regulations. And he also started a format of dance called Yakshagana. Heard about it? Those who are from Karnataka, they must be knowing about it. Yakshagana is a dance. So if you see Yakshagana, it's more of tamasic area. Big Yakshas, Yakshaga, tamasic. See Kuchipudi, it is very, very sattvic, high class. It's not possible by anybody and everybody. You need to be brought up in such a sattvika family, eating proper kind of food and proper training. Then only a person can dance. But it's very sattvic. So he had this audience who are predominantly from South Canada and that Kerala belt. They're really tamasic. And so they are into so many worship of bhutas and pretas, bhuta preta worshippers. And that is why they had this Tayyam and all these things. So he wanted to bring them, attract them. If you give them Kuchipudi there, then what happens? They'll not be able to relate. So he gave Yakshagana, which is Krishna conscious, but which they could say, yes, it's the same thing, same culture. The Acharyas have really pondered a lot, really took the pain of contemplating a lot on how to spread Krishna consciousness. So this is how you can understand all these descriptions in the scriptures. Okay. Yes.
In the morning we are singing the Shivashtakam. In that word comes Kaivalya Pate. So we generally say Mukunda is Krishna, one who can give mukti. And like, what is meaning of Kaivalya Pate? Lord Shiva is God.
Kaivalya Pate means one who is the person who is leader of all the impersonalists, those who want Kaivalya. Kaivalya Pate Nama, those who are not interested in Krishna Bhakti, but still want some kind of liberation. He will give them a hope. Okay, don't worry, be with me. I'll try to give some liberation to you. That is the meaning of the word Kaivalya Pate Namaha.
But can he actually give a liberation?
No. Lord Shiva himself says that Mukti Prateta Sarvesham Vishnurevena Samshayaha. There is no samshaya, there is no doubt that only Krishna Mukunda, Krishna can give mukti. Vishnureva nasamshayaha, mukti pradeta sarvesham. For everyone, in every time, place, circumstance, mukti pradata is only Vishnurevahi. Nasamshaya. In this, there is no doubt about it. He told this to Markandeya. When Markandeya asked, I am your devotee, I want liberation. Then he told, no, liberation, you have to go to Vishnu. Oh, what is this? Why did you not tell before? I've been worshipping for some long time. You wanted liberations, I'm sending. You wanted life. You did not want to die. So that I can give. But liberation, only can give. Then Markandeya became a devotee of Krishna. Earlier he is a devotee of Lord Shiva. At the age of 14, he was supposed to leave the body. Then father was very much upset. How is it? Then he was worshipping Lord Shiva, and Yamadutas came. They told Markandeya is holding onto the feet of Lord Shiva on the Shivalinga. How can he bring him? Yamaraj told, I'll only come. He came and he threw Yamapasha. The Yamapasha fell on Markandeya along with Shivalinga. Then Shiva told, who are you? No, I'm not putting rope on you, I'm putting on him. But you put the rope on me also. Then he got his Markandeya became Chiranjeevi at that time. So one day, after being Chiranjeevi, then he was continuing his life. He was frustrated. Just imagine, you die, one problem. You don't have another problem. So somebody wants, I don't want to die. Okay, your desire is fulfilled. You will not die. And after some time say, I want to die. I'm very frustrated. So this is how this world is designed. You don't want death also. You don't want to live also. Just imagine. So one can experience that. Then I want liberation. So then he told, no, then you have to worship Vishnu. Then Markandeya worship Vishnu. But still he wanted to see Maya. Then the Lord showed Maya. Then he said, enough now. I have seen. I don't want to experience anymore. That becomes the last prayers of Bhagavatam. The last prayer is what? Markandeya Stutihi. Okay. Any more? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. As you mentioned, in other Puranas, the descriptions are described in a different way to encourage those tamasic people or like that. So did it actually happen, like Lord Ram, like blood coming out? So it is just because how it can be false if it is in the scripture?
Good question. Comparisons are to express a particular mood. For Satvikas, the comparisons are different. For Tamasikas, the comparisons are different. Because that is what they can relate to. Like for example, Srila Prabhupada gives example of motor car, rocket, and in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when the Rath Yatra has been described, the description is that the canopies on the Rath are like Meru Parvata. Then if somebody asks you that was it as big as Meru, what is your answer?
No.
Huh? What will you say?
No.
No. Then the person says, what is wrong there? So his question itself is wrong and our answer is also wrong. It is the feeling. What is, when we see the Radha, it was like Meru. Isn't it? Meru. But if you tell that same description in the city-bred audience, it is like Meru. What is Meru? Meru cab or what? They have no idea what is Meru. A person who is brought up in a Brahminical family, he has been hearing that right from the childhood. When he sits in his yajna, he's doing his during his any yajna or any festival, even during his Sandhya Vandana, he says, You have to say Sankalpa. You have to say where you are sitting. Mero, Dakshine Bhage, Aryavarte, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande, Aryavarte. He goes on telling that. So for him, Meru is very much relatable. But for a person who is in the British Raj, so he can only understand Nelson's, what is it, Nelson Square?
Statue at Trafalgar Square.
Nelson Square. Nelson statue is there?
At Trafalgar Square.
Huh? Trafalgar. Some square is there. Huh? What is that?
Trafalgar Square.
Trafalgar Square, Nelson statue. So Prabhupada says in the purport that this was published in the newspapers. This was published. That Rath-yatra in London, it was comparable to some Nelson statue or something like that. Huh?
Rival to.
Nelson statue. So in that shloka it is Meru. So now somebody may argue that Nelson is a Rakshasa and how it is being compared. Whether he's a Rakshasa or not Rakshasa, that is people, they know him. It's a very famous place. That's what I heard. Those who have gone to UK, they must know it's a very famous place. So for those audience, you had to explain something, then you had to explain their language. So the acharyas have done that. That is why Upamana, Upamanacharya, to explain something which is inconceivable, you have to use something which is conceivable for them. So it is not exactly. Comparisons is one of the 10 kinds of pramanas, but not an absolute pramana. Just because you compared something with something, that doesn't mean it is 100% true. Like you say, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is Simha Guru. What does it mean? He was very bold. Like the lion, Simha would do Garjana. When the lion roars, the jackals run away. When our Guru, Bhakti Thakur, when he roars, the Mayavadis run away. The Anarthas in the heart of the disciples run away. Oh, that means Bhakti Thakur roars or what? Maybe his lectures are like that. It is to be understood. So what is the problem is, we are not trained in education, proper system education. Education means nyaya. The first step of education is nyaya, logic. We are taught right from childhood something totally illogical thing. Giant Kenjil went up the hill to get water. Water is not from top of the hill, it is down. So totally illogical. So that's why there should be a revolution in the education system, because it is making them fools actually. Totally. You by the time you pass out of your engineering college, you become totally useless. Totally useless. Totally. The certificate of disqualification. They completely your imagination capacities, your thinking capacities, they completely otherwise, if you are a good thinker, how will you work in any company? Because when you go to a company, you have to follow what? SOPs. That's all. This is what you have to do. You do this, then you get the money. If you don't do this, you will be removed. That's how it is. So if you have brains, then it has to be killed. That is how. That's how the so-called education system is. But in Vedic system is you develop your brain, your imagination capacities, your logic. So all the talks are totally logical because they are not taught logic. They have no idea about comparison. It's very mechanistic. The mechanistic worldview because of physics and chemistry. You have a lot of comforts. But what is the use of that comfort? You're comfortably sitting in an AC room, but you don't have your imagination. You have to depend on a TV or a mobile for your imagination. You cannot compose a letter. You have to have AI for it. One devotee sent me a letter, WhatsApp message after taking sannyas. I saw the letter. It was fantastic, I asked him, where do you get this English? He told, Prabhuji, aapko kya malum hai? WhatsApp mein khol ke dekho. I tried out. I was so depressed, but the whole world is going to lose its writing skills also now. You say something stupid, that AI will make it look as if you're intelligent. It make you feel, other person feel that you're a great scholar. But you cannot frame a single sentence of your own. You're getting the point? Huh? So comparisons and logic has to be trained. Of course, in the Nyaya system of education, in the Nyaya Sutras, all these things are nicely defined. So any student, they have to learn Nyaya. And our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very expert in that. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. There, behind.
A few days before, one devotee was sharing, I also experienced some of similar things, like some facts mentioned in scriptures like Garud Puran and Srimad Bhagavatam about when the embryo is in the womb of mother, is bitten by the worms and all. We hear many such facts which the science was not knowing previously because of all these scopies and all were not there. But now this devotee was challenged by a few doctors. They said that the womb is very safe place for the child. There is no worm in the womb. How can Bhagavatam and scriptures tell about the worms biting the womb in the womb of the mother to the child? So when such things come, when science is advancing and they are trying to claim something which is not fitting, because these are some facts. We can't say there it is Upamana or some allegory is given. So how do we see towards these things?
Let us talk the first part of it, that there is the development of the embryo within the womb of a mother, according to month-wise, week-wise, it is described. Is it matching or not with modern science? Okay. So, first they have to accept that. So now, if one part is true, why the other part is not true? That is their question. That should be the question. That's a genuine speaker. So whenever there is some questions asked about, doubts asked by the modern scientists about scriptures, you should say the ancient scriptures talk about 9 planets. They have perfect prediction of eclipse in the system of science when even modern mathematics was not available. So where did it come from? So there is some truth in it. First one. You accept it, then we'll talk about it. So the things which you say are wrong in the scriptures is because of your lack of understanding, their lack of understanding. Just because something doesn't fit into your findings, that doesn't mean that is false, because it has history, has a proof for it. There are so many things which you consider to be false in the scriptures, but later on you only told it is true. Example, cow dung. Prabhupada gives the example, cow dung. Cow dung is dirty, but now cow dung and cow urine, especially cow urine, is patented medicine now. So the fundamental problem is you superimpose your ignorance on the scriptures and then say these are wrong. Scriptures are absolutely right. The worms are there. Now the argument is, Aren't there worms in your body? They're inside your body. There are so many worms inside the womb also. And the Ayurveda says that all these things are favorable. That is why it is a safe place. Worms have to be there. If all the bacteria goes away from the body, then you'll die. How does digestion happens? There is bacteria inside. If you remove the bacteria, what happens? Gone. You have constipation. So modern science is ignorance. They think that scriptures, what they are speaking is wrong. Now, when the baby is there in the womb, there are certain worms which are not seen by the modern science. They bite. The child cries. Why the child should cry? Because the child should remember the previous life. And that is also safe for the child. In the whole of the cosmic design, it is designed by Krishna. And everything has its purpose. Everything has its use. You know certain things and you accept it. When you don't know certain things and they are described in the scriptures, better you don't talk about it. If you say, you're defeating yourself, because you say science is progressing. Why it should progress if it is complete? The very fact you say that the science is progressing, that means there are so many things which are to be explored. So by accepting the scriptures, it helps you to explore many things. So try to find out the worms. When the scriptures say the worms are there, then you try to find it out, rather than saying they are not there because you don't know. Just imagine what kind of ahankar it is. I don't know, that is why it is not there. Huh? So my ignorance cannot be the reason for some things or somebody's non-existence. Yeah. These are arguments which we used to do when I was in youth forum in Calcutta. Typical arguments we used to have. We used to go to IIM Joka, Calcutta, and Jadavpur University and all at that time. At that time, the students have some brains, of course, demonic brains. But these days, you don't find these arguments at all. I still remember there was one book called Origins. So at that time, we were asked to memorize the entire book. Because after the college program, then when students used to come, then they used to ask these questions. We were supposed to answer those questions. So Origins was there. And many such books were there. So at that time, these were the arguments. And they had no counter-argument for this. So I remember those one time, I am Joka, there was a program by Satyaraj, that author. He had come. And then he had these books and all. So one boy started arguing with me. Then I told this thing: your ignorance cannot be the non-existence of the particular thing. I was very happy about it. Yeah.
Whereas sometimes we see some devotees also, many senior preachers also, they try to give a neutral stand on such things. Maybe seeing the situation, they try to adjust and try to give some other way of looking at it. And same with some like origin problem also, like they have Big Bang theory and they have all those shifts, red shifts and all those things. So some devotees also try to adjust with those things and say maybe that was the time when the universe came out of the Randhra of Mahavishnu, and like it's like kind of not to displease them also at the same time.
They are definitely devotees, but not well read. When you don't read Bhagavatam, then you try to explain something, then you try to land up in compromising certain things. That is why it is very important for every preacher to be learned. Unfortunately, we are not promoting this point. Recently, there's one person who was debating as if he's representing the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, and he was debating with one Madhva scholar, and he was smashed left, right, center. And he took to some other petty arguments, which are no locus standi. So, one has to be learned. Then only you can sit on the Vyasasana. We talk so many, we have so many quotes of Prabhupada, which are circulating in WhatsApp, in seminars. A lot of quotes are quoted. The quotable quotes are quoted. But in the beginning of Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says, only one who is conversant with the six systems philosophy can sit in the Vyasasana. Unfortunately, nobody even talks about it. Nobody talks about it. I'm not saying that nobody should give class until unless six systems philosophy learn it. But at least if you quote, at least one or two people will learn. And present Bhagavatam in defense with the six systems of philosophy, isn't it? Somewhere, at least you should have one or two people talking about it. So especially when you are dealing with high-profile scholarly people who may be belonging to Nija Sampradaya, representing some kind of mata, to debate with them, you need to be without ammunition. How can you fire? To go back home, back to it, chant Hare Krishna and be happy. But if you want to establish Siddhanta, then you have to be learned. And it's time for us to invest our time, energy, resources in creating such people who represent the Gaudiya Sampradaya, the Vaishnava Sampradaya. I was in Udupi last week, about 10 days back. So there in the Padakshetra, there were only 10 students who were giving their Sudha Mangala. You know how tough the exam is. They just had to repeat and explain in Sanskrit exactly the phrases from the Anubhashya Madhvacharya. So that learning should be there. The learning should be there. And only those who are learned should be, all can preach, but when it comes to a debate and presenting your point, it should be that kind of audience. Unfortunately, we are very few who are competent. That number has to increase. That's what it is. Yeah. Yes.
Next, like we see that the followers of Madhva Sampradaya, they don't accept the Brahma Vimohan Lila, few chapters of the Krishna Bhagavatam. So, like, what you have to say about this?
Sripad Vallabhacharya also clearly written. It never happened. I asked this to Pejarvan Swamiji, who left his body, old person, who glorified Radhanath Maharaj, Pejarvan. Very, very friendly person, very learned, most respected. Once he was just sitting and I went and paid obeisances. They was talking casually in Kannada, I was talking. Then he was so happy to, oh, somebody in ISKCON is there who knows Kannada also or what? I was so happy. The whole subject matter was that somebody in ISKCON. Then he told, oh. Then I asked some questions, but one thing which is always bothering my mind is that why Sripad Madhvacharya and now in Madhva Sampradaya, We don't accept the 14th, 13th and the 14th chapter of Bhagavatam, which talks about Brahma Vimohan Leela. Oh. Then he told, if it is in Bhagavatam, that means it has happened. But we should not talk about it. Then I told, why? Brahma is our Acharya. And you don't have the right to talk about your Acharya's illusion. Got it? It is more cultural than philosophical. Then you may say that Brahma is our Acharya. Why are we talking about it? Isn't it a natural question? Why are we release it? Because that is the Leela in which Sri Krishna established Gaudiya Siddhanta. What was Anartha which Brahma had? He thought Aishwarya is superior to Madhurima of Krishna. That was Anartha which Brahma had. And Krishna wanted to remove that Anartha. Because when Brahma came, he saw Krishna, he's sitting in the middle and all the gwal balls are around like the lotus petals, like rolls of lotus thread. And somebody is eating samosa and one boy takes, hey, you are eating, why didn't you are giving to me? He put that samosa in his mouth. And some gwal bal came and told, he pulled that samosa in his mouth and say, hey, you are eating without giving to Krishna. He put it in Krishna's mouth. And Brahma is seeing that. Yagyabuk Ishwaraha. He's a Lord who is Yagyabuk, one who takes only Havishanna, cooked by the pure Brahmanas, rice cooked by the pure Brahmanas, Havishanna, with ghee. And now what is he doing? Jhuta, eating jhuta, double jhuta. And he got confused. How can this be God? Because God is great. And great person doesn't do all these things. No, God is sweet. That was the point which Krishna wanted to establish. So that is why at the end of the Leela, you find Brahma was totally confused and Krishna felt compassionate and showed him, just see, all the gwal balls and all the cowherd boys, all the calves, from there Vishnu Surupas came. And not only the entire Vaikuntha was shown in each and every gwal ball and each and every cowherd boy, each and every calf. And Brahma could see the entire Vaikunthas manifested. They just were like a small speck at the corner of Raja. Then he understood, yes. Now Midyate Prabhupushetadidambaraya. He starts Gunjavatam Vaivruchala Sanmukhaya. So with paying obeisances to Krishna, with tears in his eyes, tears of love in his eyes. 4 times you have to be obeisances. 4 heads, no? the tears make in Brahma Kund. And the astonishment. In astonishment, he saw the form of the Lord. There he says that your Gunja Mala is far superior to Vaijayanti Mala. And in this way, then he says that you are Pashupangajaya, Yashuje, Pashupa Angajaya. You are born from the Nanda Maharaj's body. So, Tene Brahmanaya Adhikave, one who gave Vedas to Brahma. But the same Brahma was bewildered to show to the entire world something which is Vedaguhyam Bhagavatu, which is even confidential to the Vedas or which is confidential within the Vedas. So for that purpose, Brahma Vimohan was done to establish it. That is why we speak a lot about it. Vishnu Viryani Samshanaha. Very beginning of the Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj says, I want to hear about Vishnu Virya. You are here, want to hear about Krishna? Why are you talking about Vishnu? Because that pastime in which Krishna showed the Vishnu's expansions, which was the pastime where Krishna expanded in Brahma Vimohan Leela. So that was a specific Leela which Parikshit wanted to hear. Simple. So that is what our Pracharak Swami told me, that we don't discuss it. Like we don't discuss Brahma running behind his own daughters. It should not be discussed. Because your Acharya. Acharya Vimohana is a Leela between your Acharya and Krishna. It's not something which you But we talk it because it is through our Acharya. Krishna established this tattva. What is that? Sweetness is superior to opulence, greatness. The Madhurima of the Lord is far superior to the Aishwarya of the Lord. Got it? That is why there is no argument between two Vaishnavas. There cannot be any argument. Because already everything is established. Siddhanta is established. All the four sampradayas, Siddhanta is perfectly established. So when you go to a Madhva Sampradaya Swamiji or a Vidwan who is giving pravachan, you sit and hear and relish it. Don't try to say, they say like this, we say like this. Our common enemy is Mayavad. So batenge to katenge. Isn't it? So you have four pillars on which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu built the temple of love of God. And you say we have nothing to these four pillars. It's crazy. Once somebody went and asked Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is your relation with Ramanuja Sampradaya? Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that Ramanuja Sampradaya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Premier Mandir Bhitti Surup. These are the words used by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Premier Mandir Bhitti Surup. Bhitti means foundation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu built the temple of love of God on the foundation of the four sampradayas, especially talking about Ramanuja. All four acharyas are there. When you go to Chaitanya Mat, I was there on 17th. That is the day when the sannyas got officially, they gave the letter and declared you can take sannyas. And that is the day I went Maharaj also, Vedavyas Pri Maharaj. So I went to Bhaktivinoda, that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day. I went to Chaitanya Mat and then paid obeisance to all the four acharyas. And why? See, where is Navadvip? And where the four sampradayas are, acharyas are. Maybe at that time in Navadvip, none of them knew even the names that some four sampradayas would exist. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur made sure there are four acharyas being worshipped. Just in Gandharvika Giridhari. And they offer bhoga to all the four acharyas. They do the dressing, they do the arati for all the four acharyas every day, even till today. Why Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has to do that? To prove this point. So not to fight with. The whole purpose of Madhva philosophy or Madhva Siddhanta or Madhvacharya's books is to establish Vishnu as a supreme personality of Godhead and to establish his powers. That is why in the Madhva Taratamya, they consider Bhima to be the topmost. There is nobody beyond Bhima or Vayu. Why? Because it's Bhima who killed the most of the demons. It is Bhima who was never ever bewildered. But according to ours, who is most dear to Krishna among the five Pandavas? Arjuna. From the rasa point of view, Arjuna is the most dearest. But from the power point of view, Aishwarya Shakti point of view, Bhima is the topmost. So this is how you should do the Samanvaya. Otherwise, say, oh, we are Gaudiyas, they are Madhvas, they don't accept. They don't accept. What to speak of, they don't accept him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted. And who are you as a follower of Chaitanya? Who are you to say that? Yeah, Tattvadis, they are Tattvadis. You are Tattvadi. That means you are so much into the Tattva, religion of Tattva. Where is Rasa? A father scolds a child. That doesn't become the standard for you to say that the child has done it with the father. The father tells, you idiot, to the child. What does it mean? It means closeness, not rejection. Or if somebody becomes angry on you, somebody scolds you, somebody corrects you, what does it mean? Yes. Yes. Are you and that is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went there, they started this kirtan, dancing kirtan. How many of you see dancing kirtan in Udupi in the evening, 7 o'clock, after their Chamar Seva? You've not seen that. You've seen that. They do circles and then they sing, isn't it? That started by Chaitanya. Nam Sankirtan. They sing the bhajan and then do the dance. Exactly the way, the circular dance. Just imagine Madhva doing that. And the Veda Panditas, they get together, they do a circle, and then dance. And once upon a time, even Swamiji is there, when they get together, they dance. Raghuvara Tirtha was the Swamiji at the time when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to meet Vadiraya Tirtha at that time. So he went to Hampi. But then a lot of political situation was not so good in Hampi. So he could not meet Vadiraya Tirtha. So the whole purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to South India, internal purpose, is to go to Srirangam and Udupi. And he got Gopal Bhatt hijacked from Sri Sampradaya. And who wrote the Sandarbhas? Jiva Goswami says, though Jiva Goswami wrote the Sandarbhas, actually he bases all the Sandarbhas from the notes of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Where do you get Satkriya Sardipika from? Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Rather, worship, methodology of worship, what we have today is because of Gopal Bhatta. And where is he bringing all the methodologies of worship? From Srirangam, isn't it? But because influence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have Radha, Krishna, Prema, all these things. That's on the other hand, you have the sannyas ceremony, which is speaking. Where did he get the principles of sannyas in the Gaudiya? From Sri Perambudur. The Chaitanya Bhakti Thakur went there and got this, the Diksha system. The present form of Diksha system was not there before Bhakti Thakur. He got it from Smritis. Okay. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So we consider Shankaracharya as incarnation of Lord Shiva. But in Madhvaja it is written that
Maniman.
He is Maniman demon. So how to understand?
That is the speciality of Shankara Sakshat. It is not considering. It is Shankara himself. Shankara himself says to Parvati that in the age of Kali, I come in the form of a Brahmana. Mayavadam asachastram bodham prachannam uchate. Tasmat kalpitam devi kalo Brahmana rupinaha. In the age of Kali, I come as a Brahmana and then establish Mayavad, which is covered Buddhism. Buddhism talks about Shunya. Mayavad says Brahman. Buddhism talks about Nirvana. Mayavad says Mukti. That's all. Change in terminology only. That's all. So now, the question is why Sumadvija talks about Shankaracharya as Maniman. Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva has all the potencies in his consciousness. The divine potencies also he has, and the demonic potencies also he has. So when he appeared as Shankara, he used the demonic potency of Maniman, which is already present in his consciousness, to write Mayavad. Isn't it? So when the Madhva or the Madhva Sampradaya see Shankara, they are seeing that aspect. What is that aspect? On the other hand, Shankara himself, if you compare the writings of Shankara, the Mayavad writings and the Vaishnava writings, which are more? The Vaishnava writings are more. Only Bhagavad Gita, with the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutras and a couple of more books. That is where he established the Mayavad philosophy. Otherwise, how can Lord Shiva be a Mayavadi? Shankaracharya wrote Mayavad philosophy, but he himself is not a Mayavadi. It is not exact comparison. It is not exact comparison. But you can have an understanding. Like you have a devotee who is a doctor also. So just because he is practicing medicine, that doesn't make him a doctor. Actually, he's a devotee. So for a particular purpose, he is doing that operation. The same way, Sripa Shankaracharya is a perfect Vaishnava. But for a particular purpose, he wrote the Mayavada philosophy. Why he wrote? To protect the Vaishnava philosophy. You say why? Why is it so? Number one, first reason. To protect the Vaishnava philosophy, he wrote Mayavad philosophy. Why? I don't know, you build a beautiful temple here. You have the problem of kabutar. Yes. Now, to save this beautiful shikar from kabutar, from pigeons, you make a bamboo structure next to your temple with nice, wonderful chabutras there. What will happen? All the kabutars will come. There we go. One kabutar will say, hey, this is more beautiful. That's better place. All go there. So you have beautiful Vaishnava philosophy here, and you create Mayavad philosophy, and all the kabutars will come. Hey, there you have become a servant. Here you can become God. Let us go there. So just imagine, that's a bamboo chabutra, but that is so to save your. How many of you feel dustbin is very important? So Mayavad is very important. Otherwise, the whole house will become dustbin. Whole ashram will become dustbin. Isn't it? It's very important. How many of you feel Ravana is very important for Ramayana? Yeah. How, if you don't have Ravana, how will you have? Just imagine how Mayavad is so important for Bhagavad Gita purports. Because though Mayavad, then no purports actually. And there's no purpose, your clarity of the Vaishnava philosophy will not be in your consciousness so profound. Isn't it? So just now you have got a lot of reverence to Mayavad, isn't it good? Morning I was telling about Lord Shiva. He is antagonistic to Krishna so that Banasura can be. The same way, Sripa Shankaracharya, he came as, Lord Shiva came as Shankaracharya, Sripa Shankaracharya, and wrote the Mayavad to glorify Krishna. Indirectly. Got it? Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. We hear about Vallabhacharya. He has interaction with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayagraj and Jagannath Puri. But he didn't become, in spite of knowing his Supreme Personality of Godhead, he didn't become follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Instead, he went to Rudra Sampradaya and became Acharya there. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. How we can understand it?
So only those who are in the Gaudiya Mat, they are pure devotees, others are not. It's a mood. When Adila Gram in Prayag, that is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is where he composed his verse, Namo Mahadanyaya Krishnam Priyam. At that time, Vallabha was along with Chaitanya, and he saw Rupa Goswami constantly chanting. So then Vallabha wanted to go and embrace him. Rupa told, no, don't touch me, I am so fallen. Then he told, you are chanting the names of the Lord, how can you be fallen? You are a great personality. They said, no, don't touch me, I am very fallen, I am Patita. Then Mahaprabhu told Vallabha, okay, let it be. So Purima said, he meant that you cannot understand the mood of the Gaudiyas, the humility of the Gaudiyas, which is the opulence of the Gaudiyas cannot be understood by you. So that is why Mahaprabhu wanted him to be in a sampradaya. Pushti Marga means Raga Bhakti. But even Vallabha could not understand the mood of Rupa Goswami. So something unique. So that's the... Don't have to make everybody Gaudiya. There are some people who become, some people are Vallabha. What is the problem in that? I think no problem in that. Yes.
Maharaj, when like this recently Kumbh Mela was there, and such things keep on coming, like earlier, before some years, one deity in South India came out of water. So when such things comes, then our devotees, many of the devotees are very eager to go there. Like in Kumbh Mela, everyone is eager to go there, take bath, because Amrit is there. So how, as Gaudiya Sampradaya or as Brahmachari, we should respond to these kind of things? Means what we should be doing as a Brahmachari or also in Gaudiya Sampradaya? So your thoughts?
Yeah. How many went to Kumbh Mela? They take bath. Not to take bath. Huh? Seva was there, okay. Yeah, that's the main thing. When you do Seva of Krishna, you can, incidentally, you take bath also. I don't know whether you found Amrita or not there. So, Tavakata Amritam, when you have this, why you require any other Amrita? Amrita of heaven becomes insignificant in front of Amrita of state. We have to be very, answer cannot be a general answer. For everything, you have a specific purpose behind it. And devotees, when you say, they are not all at the same platform. And they are not of the same mood and the same desire. Isn't it? So, we give freedom to them. There's nothing wrong if somebody wants to go to Kumbh Mela and take bath and come. At the same time, you cultivate the mood. When you go there and you do some seva, prasadam distribution, ultimately, seva is more important. Consciousness is more important. And to raise a individual's consciousness, who are at different levels of consciousness, one stage to other stage, it has to be individualistic. It has to be individualistic. You cannot make a blanket rule for everyone. So one devotee from one temple, he told Prabhuji, I'm going to Kumbh Mela. Then he told, मैं जा सकता हूँ, can I go? He told, you should go, but not alone. He told, what should I do? Yatra leke jao. Because there in a small town, everybody is religious and pious. They want to go. And if you organize, they'll be delivered from the clutches of the pandas there. So it is your seva. If you don't take, many new congregation and other people, they would anyhow go. Because it's an event, it's been circulated in the social media everywhere. And if they don't want to go, at least their parents want to go. Their children want to go, they have to go. If you organize, then at least they will hear about the pastime which happened there. They hear about Rupa Goswami, They hear about the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami conversation. And they hear about Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada named one of his sons as Prayag. Srila Prabhupada's pharmacy was Prayag Pharmacy. And you take the glory of Prayag as described by Vaishnava Acharyas, especially by Vajiraja Tirtha in the Tirtha Prabandha. There's one book called Tirtha Prabandha. So I'm just giving an introduction to the book. It's available on the internet. You can find, you have English translation too for that. When you go to some Tirthas, open that book and he gives 2-3 shlokas, that's all. And gives a Vaishnava vision to the pastime happened in that place, or Vaishnava vision to that particular place. Like morning I told about Rameshwaram. Kim haram haram kalpante. At the time of destruction, Deva, Sura, Sura, Ganaha, all Devata, Suras, Asura, all the Brahmins are killed. By whom? By Ram. And now even Hara, Shiva is also killed. So much of Papa he got Rama. Where is that another Hara where he can take shelter of? Morning. That is from Vajra Tirthas. So I went to, when I attended the NIDC meeting. I had no plan of going to Prayag, but NIDC meeting was there. So I'm part of the East UP zonal team. So I had to go there. So I just attended the meeting. In the afternoon they arranged a boat. So in the boat, I opened that Tirtha Prabandha and I read what Vadiraja Tirtha nicely described as Prayaga. He says Prayaga is like a scissor, because you have 2 rivers coming and becoming one. How scissors also like that, isn't it? Huh? And the scissors of Prayaga, where the confluence of Yamuna and Ganga is there, by taking the dip there, all your sins will be completely destroyed. And after that, you go and have darshan of Madhava in Prayaga, who's just by meditating on him, of those who cannot go there to Prayaga and take bath, just by meditating on him, it is equivalent to performance of thousands of yagas. That is why it is called Prayaga. The word Prayaga is not because of the confluence, it is because of Madhava being there. Know who? So Vaishnava Acharya is talking about. So you have to tax your brains to how to connect with Vaishnava. Morning also in the class. Adyech, Madhyech, Antech, Sarvatra Hare Giyate. Every kshetra has something to do with Hari. You find it out. People don't know. And we should explain to them. They'll be very happy to hear it. There's a Rameshwaram story. Morning in the class I told about. From Vajra Tirtha's Tirtha Prabandha. Where Vajra says that who had Brahmahatya dosha? Not Ram, by whose lotus feet, touch of the lotus feet, Ahalya got delivered. Do you think that person will have Brahmahatya or what? No, he will not have Brahmahatya. It is Brahmahatya was Lord Shiva. And Lord Ram, to deliver Lord Shiva's Brahmahatya dosha, he installed Lord Shiva. So that Lord Shiva, see this Setu. See this Setu. By having darshan, your Brahmahatya will go away. So you have to explain things, everything from the Vaishnava point of view, which is absolute.
One more question is there.
Yeah.
Sometimes, as you were telling, the qualification of speaker means, so like Prabhupada tells. So sometimes when we hear some classes like Bhagavatam class or some other classes, so we find that the speaker is speaking which is not in the scriptures. At least we have not read. Or sometimes some story which doesn't have any reference.
So what should we do as a listener? When we ask reference, then sometimes they become angry, or the answer is that chant Hare Krishna, you will get all the answers. Bhagavatam is solution to all the answers. So for some it is okay, but some people who have intellectual mindset, they want to know the reference. So it becomes very frustrating. So what should we do as a listener? What is our etiquette?
So take advantage of that frustration. Study nicely. And you become the speaker. Take advantage of it. So that's called yukti. Vaishnava takes advantage of everything. So take advantage of everything. Then you say, how can I take advantage of somebody speaking something which is like totally out of the world? You take advantage of. I used to take advantage. It's my perspective. You can apply it. It's nice. If I had been the speaker for this verse, what I would have spoken, that what goes on in my mind. So the initial, say, all 10 years in our temple, Miraro temple, practically except one or two speakers, most of the speakers were like that only, and much more. So my, when I used to sit, because if you're in ashram, you have to sit compulsorily in the class. It's 1 hour. So 1 hour was my my exercise. What is the exercise? So he's speaking this. If I would have given the class, then what I would have spoken. That was one. It may not be very absolute way of thinking. It's from conditioning what I have. This was the best for me, Talish. Of course, you have those who are exuberating with Krishna Prema. They would just hear everything and then start crying. I'm not in that position. So at least this one can do. If I had been in this position, whatever spoken. And it is Srila Prabhupada's desire that everybody should speak Bhagavatam. So in our movement, we encourage even those who are not so well trained also to speak Bhagavatam. At least they are speaking. For they to speak, they would have studied something. It's a big thing. Don't expect that everybody who's speaking will be the person. But there will be some inspiration from them also. They may speak some stories, some experiences that will help you. Vaishnava is Saragrahi. You take the essence. Take the essence. Always be a seeker. There are a lot of difference between a receiver and a seeker. If you just think I'm a receiver, then you think, humko ye nahi mila, wo nahi hai. You go on complaining what is not there. But if you're a seeker, then you accept what is essential and then you strive to progress. That's called a seeker. Most of the people just are trying to, अरे हमको ये नहीं मिलता है, अच्छा क्लास नहीं मिलता है, अच्छा प्रसाद नहीं मिलता है, अच्छा सुविधा नहीं मिलता है. It is go on complaining. What is the use of that? What about you? What is your contribution? That's most important. So I owe a lot of my experience in giving classes to those years of contemplation. So practically every day I was giving class, even though I was not giving class, because I was contemplating on what I would have spoken. Sit in the verse and the person is saying, see the verse, because you are seeing the verse most of the time. Chant the verse and then read word to word meaning, and after that translation, and then purport. After reading the purport, then Om Agyanananda and Mangalacharan, and then Bhagavatam is there in front of them. They close it and keep it side. Bhagavatam class is over and their class starts. I'm summarizing your frustration, that's all. I will tell all these things because your frustration is nothing. But only thing is, I took advantage of my frustration.
Maharaj, sometimes we know that who is the speaker. So sometimes I have done that. I took my Kindle and then I was reading, because sometimes they speak so slow that so much time is there. So then I thought that I'll read in between. Or sometimes when I know that he will speak something, so then I keep on reading. So is that proper or it is not proper?
It's not proper. Read in the mind. Why you want to offend? Because he's seeing you. He's seeing you and you're reading.
He doesn't come to know. I sit in the corner and then I read silently. So that's etiquette-wise, I want to
that's
do.
management. I don't want to review. Ultimately, it is take advantage, or what do you call that? Best use of the bad bargain. So no problem. Now just imagine the same complaint went to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said that, why don't you speak Bhagavatam? Why don't you speak? So that was a very inspirational point. So if you had been, and then when you give, people also think, somebody will be thinking the same thing also, isn't it? Somebody will say, hey, kahan se aaye? Kya bola, time waste kar raha hai? Like yesterday, we were traveling in the car. There were a couple of devotees in our management team, not so very matured. I use this word, not so very mature. One devotee from another temple, he came and was talking, इसको कौन रखा मैनेजमेंट पे टीएमसी बनाया, इसको कौन टीएमसी बनाया? Then I told, see the temple where you come from, many people tell regarding you, इसको कौन रखा? So I'm telling you also what to speak of you, people tell me. इसको कौन president बनाया, रहता ही नहीं है. And many people tell you, उसको कौन संन्यास दिया? So world is, isn't it? The whole point is we think what we think is absolute. It's not. Okay. For somebody, yesterday one devotee gave class. One person said, "Prabhu, अभी आपने अभी संन्यास दिया, इनको class क्यों दिया?" कोई इधर को story उधर बता रहे. Then I told, say you like the class or not? Class अच्छा दिया. What did you like? He told, "Prabhu, आपका बहुत गुणगान किया उन्होंने." तो अच्छा लगा ना, तो okay. So everybody has their own. You just have to adjust and go ahead. Don't be so much caught up with the deficiencies of this world. Yes.
Hare Krishna. What is the importance of reading scriptures like Ramayana and Mahabharata for Gaudiya Vaishnavas?
Yeah. The glory of Bhagavatam talks about Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam Bharatartha Vinirnayah. Then, next line. Gayatri Bhashyaruposu Vedartha Paribrimita. So, the importance of Mahabharata and Ramayana is only with respect to preaching Krishna consciousness. Individually, you don't have to read Ramayana and Mahabharata, because Ramayana is there in Bhagavatam and Mahabharata is there in Bhagavatam in essential format. But Ramayana and Mahabharata are very famous. And when Ram Navami comes, people expect that you speak on Rama, isn't it? And there are a lot of stories which are circulating in as moral values or something like that from the Mahabharata. So you need to speak about it as a preacher of Krishna consciousness. Though these two may not be your textbook, but for spreading Krishna consciousness, installing some moral values and dharma, and giving a world view from the scriptural point of view, you need these two scriptures. But that can only be done when you have a proper understanding of Bhagavatam. Without Bhagavatam, the meaning of Mahabharata cannot be established. That is why it says Bharatartha Vinirnayaha. Vinirnaya means निर्णयात्मक रूप में महाभारत का अर्थ को तभी स्थापना किया जा सकता है when you have studied the Bhagavatam. And that is why Sripad Madhvacharya, he writes one book called Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya. And he says clearly, I am writing this book based on Bhagavatam. Because at that time, Mahabharata was the highly misused book. Lot of wrong interpretations were given. Many interpolated texts were there. Sripad Madhvacharya went to practically different libraries, collected more than 100 varieties of Mahabharata and read them, and then he brought out the actual version because he himself is Bhima, isn't it? So, and he says Mahabharata Tatparya is based on the Bhagavatam. The same way Ramayana should also be based on Bhagavatam. So after studying the Bhagavatam very nicely, from the Bhagavata point of view, explain Mahabharata. From the Bhagavatam point of view, explain Ramayana. Especially Mahabharata should be explained from the Bhagavatam point of view. Ramayana is a rasa grantha. So now for Ram, and there a lot of moral dharma is very much nicely nourished in Ramayana. Ramo vigrahan dharmaha, especially to establish moral values in children, is very much required. One studies Ramayana. Ram Bhakti. Of course, as a Gaudiyas, when we see Ram, we see that our Krishna has come as Ram. Like when Rama Bhakta sees Krishna, he sees that my Rama has come as Krishna. So both have same affection, no problem. Okay. So one more question, last question before we end.
Hare Krishna.
In one of the purports in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, Prabhupada says that we should not divert our attention to any other forms of Krishna also. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings that song, Ram Raghava Rakshamam, so like we know that that Krishna Eka Sharanam is there. So what is that?
First is Ram and Krishna, one and the same only. Na? So there is no Ishvara Bheda. Ram is Krishna, Krishna is Ram. So when you see Rama, just now I told, what do you see him as? My Krishna has come as Ram. So in that way, though you are glorifying Rama, your rasa is not disturbed. On the other hand, the meaning, all the names refer to Krishna only. Rama is Krishna's name because he is Radhika Ramana Rama. In the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Rama refers to Radhika Ramana Krishna. Narasimha refers to whom? Krishna. Rukmini clearly says Narasimha in her letters, addresses Krishna as Narasimha. Manobhiramam. Narasimha Manobhiramam. And there the meaning of the word Narasimha becomes Simha among Naras. Not half man, half Simha. That is why you should read the Vishnu Sahasranama commentary by Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhu and Parashara Bhatta. And even by other in Madhvacharya and some. So there they establish all the names of Vishnu. They're actually referring to Krishna. And that's how as a Gaudiya is to establish. What to speak of that? Trayambakam yajamahe sugandim pushtivardhanam. So this is a mantra, Mrityunjay mantra. So everything, oh, this is all referring to Lord Shiva. Trayambakam, 3 eyes. But actually, it is glorifying Lord Rama. Because who has 3 ambas, 3 mothers? I just took one famous thing and explained. Where you see that? That is how every word is actually name of Krishna. Every word is the name of Krishna. Every word is the name of Krishna. And the way you understand it, that's all. The way you explain it. Yeah. Like Srila Vishwanath Thakur gives the example of Gudakesha. One who has conquered sleep and ignorance. But he gives a name interpretation saying that Gud means sweet. Akaisha means Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. That person unto whom Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh can only show their sweetness, not their opulence. Isn't it? When gopis say, Tameva Paramatmanam Jara Buddhyata Sangata in Ras Panchadhyayi. Tameva Paramatmanam. The Krishna is addressed as Parama. What is the meaning of Paramatma? Oh, everybody's heard that Paramatma. But when gopis say Paramatma, it refers to that Atma or that person who is as good as their Atma, who is life and soul, and nobody is superior to him as their life and soul. So, okay, Jagannath. Jagannath. Who gave the name Jagannath? Jagat ke Nath. But actually, this name is given by Srimati Radharani. In what mood? In a sarcastic mood. Vyangya bhava. Ah, Jagannath ban gaya. Ah, Gopinath tha. So you have to take the mood in which the name is addressed. That is why Jagannath becomes the topmost name in the Madhuri Rasa. Though it seems to be a Gaunanam. Gaunanam means those names which are connected to this world. Because it's kept by Radharani in the mood of transcendental jealousy. So you can give lectures on Ramayana and Mahabharata without disturbing your mood of being a Gaudiya. But that requires a kind of study and that kind of contemplation. Got it? So it's already 4:40. I think you have different services. We should stop here. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
So Maharaj has more classes. Brahmachari classes also at Radha Kunj Temple. I think 3 are there more.
Yeah, 3. Maybe it become 2 also. So one day I have to go somewhere and come back.
So we'll put it online also. And those who can travel, as per your schedule, you can travel also. Almost all the time, Kunjari devotees are online and we are here. Just because this time they are reversed. So it's a great pleasure to have Maharaj here because Brahmachari taking to Sannyasa Ashram is a very ideal role model for Brahmacharis like all of us aspiring to that. And Maharaj has not only lived as a Brahmachari but has preached very widely and also taking care of a lot of management because management gives you another rasa, another life. So it's a very ideal devotee to address the queries of Brahmacharis. Because today many were related to Lord Shiva and Madhava Sampradaya, but you can ask him very practical details of ashram life also, the obstacles, the challenges, the problems, the difficulties which devotees face. I have many times asked Prabhuji, Maharaj about many of my own personal difficulties, and he guides very, very nicely, very, very shastrically. So it's a great fortune that first trip Maharaj has come here to Pune to give us his valuable association, that too for 5 days. So if you wish, you can travel to Kunjaveri for the classes, and otherwise we'll put the class in the afternoon, either here or BVR, we will decide with manager. So we can participate from here also. Thank you, Maharaj, for being here and blessing us. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurav Pracharak Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Any reference from any scriptures? No. Actually, Daivadika. So that is why in the temple, this direction is even the order flow is not if you are doing outside, then because you are